Lillian the Waters in the Voice of Revelation, in Truth and Reality, October 28th, 1944. Perfect Manifestation. It is significant that the last book of the Bible is called Revelation, designating revelation to be the way which shall bring an end to the belief in a human existence. Revelation reveals spirit and manifestation to be the same one. Knowing reality to be spirit, we no longer believe in things physical or things mental. We know God to be the whole of us, and the whole of us to be God. We know the one I to be the only identity of all. When we are willing to leave all other ways, we come naturally into spiritual illumination, where we experience truth and reality to be our very own, present always. We know what it means to be still and know that I am God. Psalms 46:10. What does it profit one, though year after year he takes human footsteps as a means to bring spiritual perfection into a human existence, if in the end he discovers that the whole setup of human existence is rooted in a fallacy? The fallacy that we are someone beside God, living in some place beside the perfect world. Deliverance is not by way of healing problem after problem or taking step after step in a human existence, but by an awakening to the glorious, precious truth and reality that there is no human state of being, mind, or existence, that God is spirit, and that there can be no other. We are not delivered from a human existence, but from the belief that there is a human existence. When in consciousness we experience our true and only state of being, spirit, we know that our spiritual consciousness is the consciousness of God. Our experience of being and manifestation to be one is certain and ineffaceable. The sooner one gives up the wrong belief and teaching that he must work his way out of matter and mortality into spirit, and accepts the truth that perfect being and perfect manifestation are present here and now, the sooner he will know and feel the imperishable peace and serenity of spirit. The illumined state plainly that unless we ask with our heart, unless we can scarcely eat or drink until we know, unless life is no longer worth living without the expression of the absolute truth, we shall not gain it. That we are to desire reality and truth more than life itself, if we are to be worthy of its experience. Direct revelation has not to do with the process of thinking. It is neither reason nor thought. Thus, to have revelation, one must give up the ways of reason and taking thought. Spiritual manifestation is ever present as reality itself. It is not something to be brought out or made visible. For instance, when we see the form called a rose, we see all there is of a rose. There is not an idea of a rose and the form of a rose beside. Likewise, there is not spirit and forms or bodies of spirit beside. The one remains one. To turn away from the belief in oneness as a mortal and in oneself as a mortal, and to see and accept one's self as spirit, is not to get out of one being into another. It is to see that never have we been mortal, and we need not emerge from it. The one being is the being we are now, and there has been no other being. When we give our whole attention to that which is real and true as our only existence, in a divine simplicity of heart and devotion, we feed upon the bread of life. We drink at the fountain of living waters. In this pure consciousness, we drop the belief that suffering or tribulation is a way to God. It is not true. The perfect knowledge which we have gained from any religion will abide with us forever. But we shall need to turn from all that is imperfect and untrue. Our very own. Identifying ourselves with our true and real self as present now, we experience an inner stillness, peace, and happiness impossible while practicing other ways. Abiding in this light, loving it above all else, our answer to every question is certain. I recall a time when, soon after I had begun studying truth, I had invited a relative from a distance to visit me. He was a Methodist minister, and I wanted greatly to present this wonderful truth to him. Imagine my chagrin and consternation that when the day set for his arrival came, I woke to find myself faced with the belief of a very distressing cold. Eyes, nose, throat, and voice told the story. And I was distressed beyond measure to meet him this way. For how could this evidence coincide with my message? My whole being was consumed with one question. What shall I tell him, and how can I explain it to him? He was to arrive very early that morning, and as I was busily getting ready for him, I was constantly questioning myself for some explanation to give him, but none came. I saw him coming up the front walk. His hand was now pressing the electric button, and still I had found no suitable answer to the question surging from my heart, the question, what shall I tell him? With my hand on the doorknob, I paused. In desperation and total abandonment of self, I turned to God, crying, God, what shall I tell him about this cold? Back came the answer like a flash. How can you tell him anything when you haven't it? Oh, the glory of that instant. I opened the door with the feeling that I knew everything. I was radiant, whole, without trace of a single symptom. Our visit was a most happy one. How foolish and stupid the way of taking thought. How thrilling and glorious the way of turning to God as our very own life and being. Never can we account for sickness or trouble, for to God, our only being, discord is not present. The above incident may serve to illustrate what is meant by direct light or illumination. In that fraction of a second, I had experienced being the divine mind, knowing truth as my own consciousness, and living in spiritual existence. Reality is the thing itself, manifestation. Heaven is the world of our own spiritual consciousness, a world of spiritual things visible. A world could mean nothing to us without forms, things, manifestation. Our experiences in illumination convince us that not only is our body present, but other forms as well, and that all of them are forms which are pure and perfect, having no materiality. There is but one thing needful, one thing of supreme importance and magnitude. It is to know our consciousness of God, to be our wholeness, allness, and completeness, here and now. Our consciousness that God is our whole self, our whole existence, our whole world, is our peace and harmony, our safety and immunity, unbroken and absolute. Think not of God as someone other than your very own selfhood. The more one realizes himself as he really is, instead of as he hopes to become after he has improved or regenerated himself, the sooner shall he know revelation through an actual experience of it. How do we receive illumination? From the light within us. If the light of truth is here, we shall know it and we shall experience it. It should be apparent that a lack of this knowledge and of this experience is felt only because one persists in accepting imperfect beliefs and teachings. Rather than dropping them at once and entirely and taking immediate possession wholeheartedly of absolute truth. And now the burning question: who is the dreamer or false believer? Who is the one to be born again? Who sees evil and feels the need of healing? What is the origin of evil? These questions are all the same question. They are all rooted in the belief and teaching that a separation from God began, which separation religion accepts and calls the fall of man. No answers to our questions can ever be found from this position, nor can they be answered from the state of truth and reality, for here they have no meaning. Questions relative to evil, darkness, war, and limitation will be cancelled and swallowed up as we are willing to turn from the general beliefs and religious teachings and face God in the secret place of our heart. Here, in the realm of divine light, all is perfection, unconditioned. We find God to be our only self, our only universe. We do not lose our identity. Our experience is no longer that of a separate individual looking and yearning for truth and reality. The one life and being is the fullness and allness of each. I am that I am.